Well, we've just finished the News 24 Franschhoek Literary Festival breakfast, and the theme was the next new South Africa. Fascinating discussion with my fellow panelists Ferrell Haffajee, Richard Cullen and Prince Maschele about the future of South Africa's politics, and then specifically the watershed 2024 national election. I thought some of the most interesting points that came out of this discussion was, it seems, a wide-held view that President Ramaphosa may not finish his second term, that he's the way that he's governing, we almost get the feeling that he's checked out of this position, and that Paul Mashatile, the ANC deputy president and deputy president of the country, may be very much waiting in the wings to take over as leader of the party and the country after next year's election. Load shedding and Eskom is certainly going to be probably the biggest factor at play on next year's election. What happens in the next 12 months in terms of power production, in terms of getting renewable energy online, in terms of fixing those Eskom power plants that doesn't work, and the level of load shedding we will have just before the election may have dire consequences for the ANC.
Well, in a sense, the story was so obvious that it hit them in the face, where they were a very famous couple in the late 1950s. Nelson goes underground and becomes the Black Pimpernel. He becomes this mythical figure. And Winnie is the beautiful wife left at home, and journalists come to see her and want to know who she is and want to talk to her. She's the mysterious, powerful man's wife. And then he gets thrown in prison forever, indefinitely. And the story kind of makes itself. It's here as this wonderful, beautiful couple, and they're torn asunder. And they will be reunited on the day their people are free. And in that sense, their marriage comes to embody a struggle for freedom. It's such a simple story and such a compelling story, and they understood that immediately. They understood that that's what their marriage had become.
I've not been to this festival in 8 years, and it's wonderful to be back. It's one of the most beautiful parts of the world, and it's good to be here. The book took a long time to write, so it's been in my head a long time, and having an audience to talk to and hearing what other people are making of it, and the questions they ask is really wonderful and a privilege. It's a very special moment when a book comes into the world and you actually get to talk to people about it. It's great.
I think the talk went well. There were a lot of laughs, a lot of questions. There seemed to be genuine interest. People liked the fact that the book was, shall we say, a happy, positive, inspiring one. It started in Cape Town with, I think we were about maybe 7, 8, 9 years old. And my dad took us to the airport in Cape Town International Airport, or DF Milan as it was known back then. And we saw a Boeing 707 airliner for the first time, and the size of the thing just blew us away. And it sparked a dream in us, and that's really where the whole thing started. So we had this lifelong dream to kind of work in aviation one day, but our parents couldn't afford it. So one thing led to another, and eventually we fell in love with French at high school, got a scholarship from the French government, studied aeronautical engineering in Paris, and then worked for a French airline. So it all kind of looped together nicely at the end.